Hey, so since I recommended Moderna, the stock has rocketed up over 291%. That's since March 30th. That's about 4 months. And the love and the incredible performance just keeps on coming for Moderna stock. And congratulations to anyone who got into it when I first recommended it on March 30th. But now the question is, after it rockets above 485, is it still a buy? What is the current situation? And is this something that you should get into now? And what should be the strategy for this stock, which in my opinion is one of the best investment ideas I have seen in 20 years? And that's what we're going to be talking about in this video. So stay tuned, because it's coming your way. Hi, this is Greg. Welcome to the channel. On this channel we talk about markets and investment, and the sole purpose of this channel is to make you a better and richer investor. Now, anyone who's been watching the channel, and even if you're new to the channel, I have been talking about Moderna stock incessantly for quite a while now, 4 or 5 months since I originally recommended it on March 30th of this year. And since that time, I recommended it around 124. It's rocketed practically straight up. I mean, there have been fits and starts, but especially in the last 3 weeks, it has just gone parabolic. And so on this video, we're going to talk about all of this and what should you be doing and all the latest news on Moderna stock. But before we get started, please, if you get value out of this, like and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell so you'll be notified on further videos which will be coming your way very soon. Okay, let's get right into it. Hey, so the price action has been very, very startling, and justifiably so. I mean, I've been saying that there is an enormous amount of value in this company and in this stock that goes far beyond just the current coronavirus vaccine, which they have been insanely successful with. There's a lot more value to this company, and I think it's finally being realized by the market. So there's a couple factors for why the stock has been on such a tear the last couple weeks. Most recently, and again, I would refer you to take a look at the previous Moderna videos that I did. I'm going to put them in sequence in the description below. I suggest that you watch all of them from the original one that was around March 30 all the way through to a couple weeks ago where I did another update to this one, so that you watch them in sequence so you can see how the thinking evolved and what were the different factors that I looked at when I decided to go into this stock. So Fauci kind of did a flip-flop. He was initially negative on the boosters. He came out this week and said he thinks the boosters are a good idea. So that was definitely one factor that influenced the price action. The second one, I think, is that we are very close to FDA approval on this. We could be as close as several weeks away, although more likely several months away. But believe me, although a lot of that excitement behind FDA approval is probably already in the stock, I think that once it actually happens, it will cause the stock to rally even further. Now, why is FDA approval important? Basically, I believe it'll give people more confidence. The holdouts out there that are skeptical about the virus, some of the anti-vaxxers, etc. I think it'll give them more of a reason to go ahead and get the shot, and that will boost demand and also boost production and boost sales. The third thing is they reported excellent earnings in the second quarter. They had some very significant earnings beats. I just want to show you something on my screen here. Just take a look at this fantastic earnings report that they had. All right, look at this here. This is the summary of the quarterly earnings that Moderna achieved. You can see revenue, $4.35 billion. Extremely remarkable. Look at this. Year on year, 6,462%. I'd say that's good. I mean, I'm not sure. Maybe they could have been up 10,000. That would have been better. That is ridiculous and absurd. And really, when we went into this company, it really was a development stage company, and it still is. But now it has real earnings and real revenues. Net income, $2.78 billion. That's up 2,481%. Net profit margin, 63.85, up 136%. And operating income, $3.06 billion, and that's up 2,607%. Just to give you a better appreciation of this, let's take a look at another screen. Okay, so here's where it closed. It closed at 484 today. Extended hours, it's up to over 485. What I wanted to show you here is take a look at this. Okay, here's the earnings summary. This is what it did last quarter. Look at this. Up $6.46 a share. Okay, they beat consensus. Consensus was $5.96. They beat consensus by 8.48%. Okay, really remarkable.
All right. You guys see Moderna today? It continues to rip higher, hitting another all-time high. Shares have almost doubled in the past month alone. It is the best performing S&P stock this year, up almost 340%. We're mentioning it today because of that move and the fact that one of our committee members, Steve Weiss, has continued to buy it. He's continued to recommend it, which means many of you may have gotten in with him. Steve, you there?
I'm here, Scott.
What do we make of this now?
Well, today's move is actually very logical, even though it's up another 11%, because the news that's driving it is that Fauci, I wouldn't say he's done an about-face, but he's talked about the need for booster shots in those that are most vulnerable. And as I've been consistently saying, we'll see boosters as a fact of life going out, annually, because there'll be new variants. You also have BioNTech, which reported a great quarter, similar to what Moderna's quarter was. They got approval by Australia today as well. So all those factors, but what this does is one of the bear stories was this is Gilead. Their Hep C vaccine was a cure, and that it was a one-shot thing, and there was no recovering revenues. People now realize that that's just not true of Moderna. That Moderna there will be recovering revenues. So I still have, despite the move, and it's up to 300% this year alone, I still have the cheapest stock in my portfolio on current earnings and future earnings. And another way to judge these companies, when you think it's toppy, look at the people they're able to bring in. So they announced on their last quarter call they brought in the chief legal officer from Novartis. They brought in the chief medical officer from J&J. They brought in the chief brand officer from 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞, who's also the, I think the global CEO. So all these people are taking a look under the covers here and saying, you know what? I think this company's got much better upside than the high-quality global brand companies I'm with. So that reinforces it, because you don't typically see companies where executives are getting part of their comp in options. So they got to believe it's really going to go higher.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this lastly before I let you run. To the person who may have followed you in many, many months ago and has ridden this wave up with you, are you inclined to tell them today to continue to buy into the story from their dollars standpoint, even if you can be bullish about the long-term prospects of the company? Is today the time to buy more or to sell a little?
It depends how big a portion of your portfolio is, how much risk you can tolerate. As much as I love the company and see the future, see the stock can go up another fivefold from here. It can be in Amazon because it's a technology company, a biotech. If it's 100% of your portfolio or 80% or 75%, that's an intolerable risk. And even the officers of the company have 10b-5s where they periodically sell stock. Now they get more. But for me, I've got my core position, which I haven't really touched since it being in the 20s. That's sacrosanct. Mm-hmm. I've added on the way up, and I trade around it. So I watch it every day. I'm very comfortable. This continues to be a safe story going forward. But again, individual risk appetite.
I appreciate you telling us that, Weiss. Thanks for calling in.
Okay, so he kind of reiterated, confirmed a lot of the things I've been saying, a lot of things that I picked up on. Smart guy. Apparently he's been in the stock since it was at 20. Good for him. I'm a little bit behind at 124. But I think he summarized the view on the street and the reason the stock is gapping up today. The next thing I want to do, let's take a little bit of a look at the stock and where it's been and where we think it might go. All right, so now we're in my trading account, and there's just a couple things I want to cover here to cover off on what's been happening with Moderna. Here again is the stock snapshot. Here's where it closed today. Here's the extended hours. It's over 485. Let's take a look at what the stock has done, and we'll just make a couple comments here. Go down to the 6 month. Believe it or not, I'm not bragging, but this is roughly where I recommended it when it was down around 124. You can see that since I've owned it, it's gone up and down, up and down. It's been rather volatile because it is still a development stage company. But around the middle of July, it got its footing and it started to really rocket up. And there's really no other word for it. Here it went from low 200s, blasted through 300 like it didn't even exist. Beginning of August, it was at 350. I did another video in here when it hit 300, or sorry, here when it hit 300. I've done updates all through here. And then here is where it goes parabolic. From 350 to over 400. It happened in a week or so. Then it sold off a little bit recently, and then it rocketed back up to here. Now, one thing that I want to do, those of you who have watched the channel before, you'll know that I like to look at the technicals. I think we're gonna know what the technicals will say, but let's just take a quick look while we're here. You can see that this first chart here is the Bollinger Bands. This is the 20-day moving average. This is one standard deviation above, one standard deviation below. And I look at pretty much 5 technical indicators. One is the Bollinger Bands, which is this here. And once you pierce the upper range of the Bollinger Band, you are overbought. Okay? You can see it's flirting with 500 here. This is the slow stochastics. It is an oscillator index, and you can see for the entire month of July and August so far, it's been in an overbought position. It's like a permanent overbought position. The relative strength index, overbought. Momentum, which is its momentum relative to other stocks, is overbought. And you can see the money flow index, which measures the amount of money flowing into the stock relative to other stocks in the S&P 500. The money flow index has been overbought. So we're massively overbought. That doesn't mean it can't go higher, but this stock is characterized by very sharp increases followed by very sharp sell-offs. I believe a lot of people are trading it, which, by the way, is not such a bad idea if you were so inclined. I'm a long-term holder, but I think because of the volatility, I'm going to start trading around the price action. But this stock is this stock has a predilection toward trading off suddenly. So, I mean, as I've recommended, anything 350 or above, I'd be a buyer. I'd be a massive buyer. And since I have such a low cost basis, I'm probably not going to wait. The next time it sells off moderately, I'm probably going to add to my position. Okay, but that's for you to decide. Now, something that Steve Weiss said on his short little soliloquy there, which I agree with, is what you do with this stock does depend on your risk tolerance and the size of your portfolio, etc. You don't want to be all in on this stock because it could sell off. You want to be careful, but I do recommend a meaningful position in this stock since it is so exciting and it is so dynamic. So let's go back to the main screen and I'll make a couple more comments. Okay? Thanks.
Okay, so where does that leave us with this very exciting situation? So if you were smart enough or lucky enough to get into this when I recommended it, you are sitting on a very nice profit. In my mind, I would look at this as a long-term hold because this company has the potential to be a massive winner. It is a tech company. Technically, it's a biotech company. It has the potential to go up thousands of times on itself, and it could be like the next Amazon. Okay, now that's a pretty bold statement, but this is the kind of company that does have the potential to do that. The only caveat is, it's very extended right now, as you could see by the technicals, so be careful. Don't get overexposed and don't be greedy. Remember, pigs get slaughtered. Bulls make money, bears get money, pigs get slaughtered. Don't let greed take over. But this is, and I'll reiterate, one of the most attractive, one of the most intriguing investment opportunities that I have seen in the past 20 years. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell so you can be notified of future videos that will be coming to you very soon.